Yo guys, Theo here. Uncommon sense! Sorry, I just wanted to show off how ridiculously long this new selfie stick is. You know, as usual, they brag about all these features, like look at the built-in tripod, look how long it is, look at the Bluetooth camera button, but as usual, even at shorter length, it's not stable while you walk around. Next time, I'm gonna go for the one that says actually stable selfie stick. So anyway, let me just adjust this. Alright guys, so today, I wanted to bring you yet another little fasting weight loss tidbit that I call the hammer fast. So my opinion when it comes to prolonged fasting and weight loss. So when you're going to be using prolonged fasting as your main method to lose weight, which means you will be repeatedly not eating anything at all for several days in a row. Then you break the fast, you refeed, then you start at some point a new fast, you don't eat anything for several days, etc. That's how it goes. Well, in my opinion then, you should not be doing anything longer than 2 to 3 day fast, so 48 to 72 hour fast, and there's many reasons for this, but generally I'm not a fan of a fast longer than 3 days for weight loss, but there is an exception to this that we're gonna come to later. But and then there's of course another, if you're fasting not for weight loss but you just wanna, you know, go for self-development, spiritual reasons, just want to challenge yourself and see how will I feel after a week without food. Or let's say you have some kind of autoimmune issue and you want to really milk that anti-inflammatory effect from the fast and want to push it further. That's one thing. But there's many things that can go wrong with a longer fast. So I'm going to go into that. Let's first, a brief. Because I have a video about why I prefer this 2 to 3 day long fast. It's a video called like my favorite snake diet weight loss routine for everyone, I think. I never remember, sometimes I put fasting, sometimes snake diet because it's better for the algorithm. But so just to kind of, the abridged version of that video is that everyone, they want to think about how fast can I lose the weight, or can I do it even faster if I do this and this and this and this. And first of all, they don't think about can I be consistent with this, because if it's just a fantasy because you can't follow this extreme routine you come up with, then why is that even interesting, you know? And the other thing is that the science is very clear, you know. Many people, when they jump on something extreme, anyone can lose weight, but maintaining that weight loss, keeping it off, that's where almost everyone fails. And so with a weekly fast, 2 to 3 days, you're still getting, if you can pull this off every week, you're still losing weight at a very fast rate. You get the benefit from the fast that the food addiction reversal effect, like any addiction, you know, anything you're addicted to, sustaining from it, refraining from it, I mean, refraining from using it, that's what's gonna bring down your cravings and your withdrawals, you know. So you get this, but then you also get the chance on the other 4 or 5 days to actually create new healthy eating habits, you know, because if you can just sprint with long fast into some kind of weight loss, but then all you have to fall back on is the shit habits that got you overweight in the first place, then that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I prefer it that you don't only focus on how do I lose weight with my fast. No, the important thing when the weight is lost is not, you can't rely on always that you don't eat for 3 days every week or something. You're gonna have to build healthy eating habits, right? And so another thing is that as you get longer and longer into a fast, your metabolism, your energy expenditure will down-regulate. So if we're talking like time return on investment, the fat lost ratio to time spent fasting is going to be better when you keep it under 3 days, the fast. So that's another thing too. And so why I don't like the long fasts is, well, for these reasons, you know, of course, that if I just fast for fucking ever, I could maybe just lose all the weight with one fast or something. But it's, again, someone could maybe do that, but that's a one-time thing, you know. And then what are you gonna do? They're gonna slowly just gain it all back, you know. So the other thing is that, as I said, the metabolism will down-regulate more and more through longer fasts, and you have to understand that at a point too, it's not that you could like fast for 10 days and now your energy expenditure is low and then you just break the fast and now it's through the roof back. No, if you become too aggressive and never feed the body what it needs to just function properly, you can actually downregulate your metabolism, not only temporarily during the fast. Too aggressive fasting could give you thyroid issues, so that you're going to have a very hard time losing weight, even when you keep fasting, So that's terrible. And also what often happens, even when you don't go that far, that it's like a permanent downregulation of the energy expenditure, but it's very easy to get into this pattern of fasting long and binging. And your body is really gonna try to find. Your body doesn't always have the same goal as you. When you want to lose fat and you fasted for 5 days, when you break the fast, your body is like, okay, finally food, let's do everything to hold on to as much as possible of this. So this is one example. When I did a 5-day fast this Christmas, that I didn't do for weight loss purposes. It's of course a side effect. You will always lose weight if you don't eat anything for 5 days, but it's become a tradition for me, really. And I was doing it before going on a bulk, when I'm going to actively put on weight. So yeah, I know I will be losing weight from the fast, but it's not the goal, so I won't try to maintain that weight loss. But so when I broke it on New Year's Eve, and I definitely ate a lot of food, no junk, just a lot, and kind of high in all the, like, high carb, high protein, high fat, and then I didn't do much the 2 days after that. Like, in fact, I was so crashed from this fast. It doesn't happen every time, but I slept like so much. And then on the other days from New Year's Eve, I maybe ate a little bit over what I think should be my maintenance, And then after these 3 days, I gained all the weight I lost on the fast back. So when I just kind of, not necessarily overate, but just ate intuitively, even still healthy food, no junk food, and I just don't move that much, I gained it all back, because my body, in my body size, like, this is insane. We've lost weight way too quickly. I'm gonna do everything we can to get it back, It's just another thing, just getting in a weekly 2 to 3 day fast is enough. But if you're a fucking, parent, you work full time, you have kids to take care of, that you're always in a state where you haven't eaten in days. I'm sorry. Like I say, there are many things you can do, almost anything you'd like to in a fasted state. Well, that's true. Like, on occasion that, I'll be doing my fast and I'm gonna have to do this thing on the fast. And it's not gonna be a big deal, but always being super fasted, living like a busy and active life, that's gonna be difficult, So it's the sustainability factor too. But so, okay, let's come to when I think the longer fast is appropriate for weight loss. So let's talk about the opposite, because I did one of these that I call hammer fast. And why we call it a hammer fast is that it's not part of the plan. It's not the original plan that we're gonna do something like 5 or 7 day long fasts, but when an opportunity just arises, we just hammer it in there, and that's what I did. So my routine I've had is that it's been open-ended, that I can have a weekly 64. It's 64 hours just because that's always where it ends up for it with me, but a 2.5 day fast basically. But I've had it open that I can do it every week, but every other week at least. And it's actually ended up being every other week that I do this fast. But at one point, I just felt great, I feel very recovered from the training. I feel like my metabolism is going full time. You know what? There's not too much. It's not a very busy week ahead of me. Why not extend this fast and just milk a little extra out of it? So I took it 4.5 days instead, 2 extra days. And then the thing is, though, that you have to, again, don't just think, I fast this long and lose this much weight. You have to not do it the way I did it at my Christmas fast, right? You have to really watch what you eat, not only on the day of breaking the fast, but for a few days at least. You have to make sure that you're not overeating. Like, your maintenance calories that will be temporarily lower, but from what you know from before, that should be like the high end of what you eat. And this goes against a little bit how I say I do, because on the very first day, me personally, I push it a little bit with the food, because it has to do with the way I train. I want to recover fast for the training, and I compensate by moving extra on that day, just making sure that the extra food I eat don't spill over into fat gain. But so if you're not very active and you know you're training a whole lot, don't even think about having to do that after a long fast. But do the opposite. You know, make sure you don't, because you know a smaller overeat or you know a seemingly smaller overeat is at that time when you haven't eaten for like 5 days a week or whatever. At that time it's going to be more, it's going to be more than you think. Like I say, the body is then like a spot, it's in a spot where it wants to take all the energy it can get. So if you didn't get it, the hammer fast is when you have some kind of plan, when you're pulling off the 48 to 72 hour fast consistently, but at some point want to give it just a little boost, when it just opportunity, you feel good. You could make this decision during the fast too. When you come say that you have, like me, in a 2.5 day fast, and there, when it would be time to break the fast, you're like, you know what, I feel pretty good. And there's nothing, I feel like this fast is going, getting in the way of, you know what, let me push this a little further. And then, however, you could take it, I took it 5 days or 4.5 days, you know, you can take it longer, of course, you know. But the point is, you have to be really mindful and have a plan for how you break the fast. That's another thing, you know. When I hear that someone like, oh, I failed my fast, I had some of this cake, you know, and I'm like, okay, so you went out away and bought the cake. Like, no, we had it at home. And I'm like, you don't, if you're an alcoholic, you know, and you're gonna say you're gonna quit drinking, you don't keep a bottle of vodka at home, right? You can't have this shit lying around if you have an issue with it. You're doing yourself a huge favor by just don't have that fucking shit at home. It's much easier. Like even me, I got some free fucking protein cookies that are really just junk food with a little bit of extra protein, you know. But just because I have them at home now, I get almost tempted, even though it wouldn't even occur to me that I would have a cake like this, you know. I'm gonna give them away. And I of course don't have that big of an, like, but I'm saying even just because they're there, it makes me think about it, right? So you have to know. You have to know. You're someone. You have 2,000 calories is your maintenance. You know, you break this. You pushed it for a week. You know, well you have planned already. Okay, I'm gonna eat 2 times, whatever your plan is, right? And I'm gonna have these potatoes. I'm gonna have this piece of meat, these vegetables or this fruit. You know this beforehand. You planned it. You have this food, and then that's exactly what you eat. You don't leave it to chance. Well, I wonder what I will eat when I break the fast. I wonder when I will feel full. Never if you treat it that way, you know. So yeah, guys, and the hammer fast, it gave me great results when I did it this way. You know, like I say, because of the way I train, I push, just on the first day I push the food a little extra there, but then I too am mindful that because I know my body is going to want to suck up as much of that energy it can and store it. But it definitely gave me that little boost, you know. And, you know, in a way, my 1 week fast that I did last year, it became kind of like a hammer fast, but I hadn't come up with a concept of it. And most of the time I would throw this like in the middle of a cutting process. And this really ended up happening at the end of a cutting process, because I had done this. I had done like, for 6 weeks or something, I had done a 48 to 72 hour fast. Then I took a little break from it. I don't remember for how long, but then I went on this 1 week fast. And yeah, a few days after finishing that fast and eating and getting back to the training, I just looked sick. Yeah, I hammered in the last fat loss there. And by the way, we can say that as a little, because it came to mind as an extra little fact here. With the fasting and weight loss in general, the results are a little delayed. Think of it, it's not exactly the same, but you know, it's not like Tom and Jerry when you go to the gym, like you bring a dumbbell up, you pump it like this, and boom, now your biceps is big. Okay, of course you can get a slight pump, but you know, the muscle doesn't actually grow, right, as you train it, right? It's kind of the same with this, with the fasting and all. Like, if you fast and say that you're at least 2 days in, like, yeah, your waist is always gonna feel smaller, you know, because there's, you know, there's nothing in there, but like how it shows in like how much subcutaneous fat you actually have, fat under your skin, that's doesn't really show honestly on the first day when you break the fast. It takes 1 or 2 days for it to kind of even out. This is something I've noticed now when I've been fasting. Like it's never on the day of breaking the fast. Like the weight is lowest then, of course, but the look, you know. But then 1 or 2 days later, it's like, okay, I peeled another layer. You know, I reached another level. So that's just a little useful thing to know, that the visual result of a weight loss is slightly delayed, you know, and that's why also you can't, you know, that's why the actual result when you do a longer fast, you're gonna see in a couple of days or so. So yeah, guys, that's it. I don't even know, how did I talk for so long? I didn't talk that much about the actual hammer fast, but I don't know. Wanted to share this idea with you because a lot of people, when I propose this, that the 2 to 3 day fasts are the best way to do it when you're gonna do it repeatedly, many want to ask about the longer fast, and isn't it appropriate for this person, la, 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 la. Well, here you have it. I think even a very, very overweight person should stick as the main thing to the 48 to 72 hour fasts, because done consistently, it's still a great rate of weight loss, and you get the opportunity to be more active and train more and actually implement eating habits that keep you healthy and at the weight and shape you want to be. So, well, yeah, I guess what I wanted to say is that when I thought about, okay, when do I think the longer fasts are appropriate, the hammer fast, the just occasional longer fast when it just fits with everything for you, then go ahead and hammer in one of those longer fasts. So, okay, guys, please leave a comment and let me know what you think about this, if you tried something similar, or what your experience is with a longer fast. Always interesting to hear, you know, it's not many people you meet in real life that have a lot of experience with fasting, but on this channel, we have quite a few, so please go ahead. Please like and comment anything. Anyway, by the way, because all comments and likes help support the channel, so I appreciate it a lot. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, all that kind of cool shit. Okay, guys, see you later. Peace.